And yesterday, after returning from the peak of Mount Chomolungma, the climbers who took the Olympic flame to the top of the world have spoken about their experiences. They were celebrating at the base camp on Saturday.
The moment we approached the top of the mountain, I was sure that our Chinese mountaineering team would be able to accomplish the feat for people all around the country, so I felt quite relaxed.
I felt in very good condition. After sitting up a little bit late, I kept a quick pace while climbing with my team.
The mountain heroes were given the white hada along with blessings and wishes in the traditional Tibetan ceremony. The chairman of Tibet Autonomous Region, Chanba Puchong, took the flame, which had returned from the peak of the mountain, to light the cauldron at the base camp. This marked the end of the hugely successful torch relay on Mount Chomolungma. After the ceremony, the flame will be sent to Lhasa, where it will wait to rejoin the main flame during a stop in Tibet next month.
China and Japan. President Hu Jintao's warm spring trip to Tokyo heralds a new season in relations to the two powers in the Asia-Pacific region. This week, World Insight brings you a special program on Sino-Japanese relations.
Well, we have the business news now. I think it's your turn to tell us more about the new policies. It's not actually new, but it's, again, stressed.
Yeah, that's right, Liang Hong. Policymakers here in China taking a second look at some local domestic foreign policies, particularly with regards to financial situations because of the global economic slowdown. It's forcing China's monetary authorities to take another look at its own policy goals. The head of the central bank says inflation will remain the top concern. Zheng Junfeng has the story.
Zhou Xiaochuan, the governor of the People's Bank of China, the country's central bank, said China's monetary policy must target inflation over growth and employment. He said that in a forum in Lujiazui, Shanghai's financial center, on Saturday. Observers say this is in contrast with the policies of the United States and other major economies, which are currently focused on fending off a possible recession.
We are more concerned about inflation than other issues when making our monetary policies. We have noticed that since last year, in many emerging markets and some developed countries, inflation has been building up, indicated by the rising oil, food, labor and material prices.
Experts say besides rising costs of materials, red-hot domestic investment has also contributed to inflation. They say the appreciation of the country's currency may be a more effective measure to offset inflation than further interest rate hikes.
Now trade accounts for 70% of China's annual GDP, so the global price surges of oil, rice and iron ore will worsen our domestic inflation. Letting the RMB appreciate further will keep imported inflation in check.
China's April Consumer Price Index figure will be released on Monday and is anticipated to be higher than 8.3% in March, a new record high. Zheng Junfeng, CCTV.
Well, economists also predicting that China's currency will need to continue to strengthen at a steady pace for the rest of this year. Examine the finer points of the country's exchange rate regime and how far a stronger yuan could help curb inflation. Dai Qian with more.
Economists predict the Chinese yuan will continue to rise against the dollar throughout the year. They say this appreciation will help relieve pressure on excess liquidity and that changes should be based on market fundamentals.
I think given the strength of the Chinese economy and the strength of the balance payments position in particular, RMB is very likely to continue to appreciate.
The yuan has gained more than 4% against the greenback so far this year, though its pace has slowed since breaking the 7 per dollar rate last month. Many believe that a stronger yuan would help reduce inflows of cash that threaten to fuel inflation. But some economists warn that the rapid appreciation may not be an effective way to curb that threat.
I think that for certain commodities that have prices, the prices have doubled or tripled, appreciation doesn't work. And domestically, we are running into constraints like we're running out of coal, pollution is a huge problem. So all those factors mean that when Chinese economy expands, the key inputs inflate. So the economy is inflation prone. So this is why that it has to be interest rate policy, not exchange rate policy to deal with inflation.
The Consumer Price Index, a major indicator of the country's inflation, rose 8% in the first quarter, far beyond the central bank's annual target of 4.8% for 2008. Dai Qian, ICS4 CCTV.
China's first commercial super jumbo jet company has just been given clearance for takeoff in Shanghai. The company is 19 million in registered capital and will be responsible for developing, making, and marketing the first made-in-China jumbo jet. The State-Owned Assets Supervision and Administration Commission will be the biggest shareholder with 6 million yuan. The second largest stakeholder is a conglomerate between the Shanghai Municipal Government, AVIC 1 and AVIC 2. The firm will build planes with takeoff weights of more than 100 tons or planes with more than 150 seats. Many of China's big cities are launching various low-cost home projects in a bid to stabilizing the rising cost of housing. As Lu Yujun reports, that relatively low prices are luring some home buyers in Guangzhou.
Guangzhou is one of the cities trying to keep a lid on rising property costs. The city has already launched 3 batches of limited-price properties this year, with average prices of 6,000 yuan per square meter. Meanwhile, another low-cost home project will go on sale in the city within the next few days. And the average 4,000 RMB per square meter price is getting a lot of attention from consumers.
The price is really attractive, down nearly 2,000 yuan per square meter compared with some other low-cost properties. Price is a very important factor because consumer prices are very high now.
Most of the low-cost pre-decorated homes launched this year are located in northeast Guangzhou, with apartments ranging from 70 to 90 square meters. But many consumers are still worried about access to transportation, since some of the bus routes and services will not be available till 2012.
Well, foreign universities anticipate the number of Chinese students who will study abroad will reach 180,000. That is a 20% jump over last year. At this year's Beijing International Education Fair, foreign universities are offering a variety of incentives for students. Canada Immigration is now allowing overseas students to work for 3 years after receiving a degree from a certified university. Universities in the UK are now offering more scholarships for Chinese students, and students receiving their first or master's degree will get a 1-year work visa in the UK. Well, Chinese caterers are promising the best and the most diversified menu at the Beijing Olympics. At the China Catering Service Forum, the China Cuisine Association says a lot of Chinese food will be offered, of course, but 70% of the food at Olympic accommodations will be Western. Beijing caterers cooked up thousands of new recipes to ensure participants don't get bored with the same old thing. 6,000 people will serve food at the Olympic villages. Media Center and the International Broadcasting Center. That includes about 1,800 cooks. And that is